Hello, thank you for joining me. In this video, we are going to talk about even functions. I will explain the basic concepts I understand for you to get the concept. What do we mean by even functions? Even function or any function is said to be even when f of x equals f of negative x. So when a function f of x equals f of negative x, we say that that function is even. This simply means that the function is the same for the positive values of the x-axis and the negative value on the same x-axis. I repeat, the function is the same for all positive values on the x-axis and all negative values on the x-axis. If you still don't understand, let's use this diagram to explain. If I have a graph appearing in this form, and this is my x-axis, this is my y-axis, this is my f of x, this is my f of negative x. So what we mean is that the graph of an even function is symmetric in nature. The left-hand side of the graph is a mirror image of the right-hand side. This simply means that every value here, whatever that we find here, is the same as the values we have here. So any equation here will be the same as equations here. So the function f of x on this side will be equal to negative f of x. And that is why we say it is symmetric in nature. Read under symmetric graphs online to understand what I am talking about if you still have problems understanding the diagram I have here. So we are saying that the graph is an even function has a graph that is symmetric in nature with respect to what we call the y-axis. So what if, let's take an example, what if they ask us that a function f of x equals, say, 4x squared minus 9, or 4 raised to x raised to the power 4 minus 9x squared. And we are told to check if this is an even function. All you need to do is to test with a negative x. So say that f of x equals 4x4 minus 9x squared. So we test with a negative function by saying f of negative x, and wherever we see x here, we substitute negative x. 4 negative x raised to the power 4 minus 9 negative x raised to the power 2, and the answer is still 4x4 minus 9x squared. What this simply means is that if I substitute x to be any value, a value like, say, 1, 2, 3, 4, any value you want, the answer I'll get will be the same as the answer I'll get. So if I put a negative 2 here, and then I repeat negative 2 here, negative 2 here, whatever answer I will get, if I put 2 here, I'll get the same answer. That is what it is telling us, and that is what even function is all about. Okay, so let's take another example by saying a function. Let's say the question usually comes in this form. It can ask you if f of x or g of x or h of x, depending on the letters they are using, it depends. So if f of x equals x raised to the power 4, show that f of x is an even function. So this is our question. So when you see something like this, simple solution, we test with a negative x. So if we write the equation f of x equal to x raised to the power 4, you can say testing. You can write this statement like testing with negative x So I'll get f of negative x equals minus x all raised to the power 4. So f of negative x equals x raised to the power 4. Because it's an even power, it will affect this thing, the negative, to be positive. You can use your calculator to check this. Punch minus 5, any value you want, all raised to the power 4, it will give you a positive answer. So this x can stand for any value. But in this question, or in this example, we are using x to test, and we always test with negative x. Do not forget that. So now that you have gotten your answer, you write a statement by saying something like, since f of x equals f of negative x, since this one, f of x is equals to f of negative x, f of x was x raised to the power 4, and f of negative x was x raised to the power 4. So since f of x equals f of negative x, it indicates that f of x is an even function. And so this is, after this statement, your examiner will give you the right answer, so the correct marks rather. So it is very important that you state this. So you can say something like, if since f of x equals f of negative x, it shows that f of x is an even function. You can also say f of x is an even function because f of x equals f of negative x, depending on the way you want to put your statement and the way you want to write your English. That one depends on you. So we can take another example. Let's say they said if g of x equals cos x, show that g of x is an even function. So the solution will be g of x equals cos x. So you can write testing. We test with negative x. G of negative x equals cos negative x. So therefore, g of negative x equals cos x. What do we mean by this? This simply means that the cos of a negative number will give you a positive answer. Take your calculator, punch cos any value, cos 3, cos minus 2, cos minus 5, or cos minus 50. It will give you a positive value. That is what it means. Sometimes we have sign. The sign of a negative number will not give you a positive number. So that is why I didn't bring sign here. So you can read more in your books or online. Let's see if we can take another example. I don't think we need to worry ourselves with other examples. So let's take one example that will give us a different answer and see something. What if we have something like we said if f of x equals, say, x raised to the power 3, show that f of x is an even function or not. So we will just test f of x equals x raised to the power 3, f of negative x equals minus x all raised to the power 3, f of negative x equal to minus x raised to the power 3. And this is our final answer. Now this is not an even power, so it will still give us a negative value. So you can write that since f of x is not equal to f of negative x, it shows that f of x is not an even function. So this is my statement. So now, if it's not an even function, then what is it? What is it? So it is an odd function. Don't laugh at me. We all make mistakes. So it is an odd function. So we will talk about odd functions in our next video, so that we take just some few examples under it. If this video was helpful, if you were able to understand the concept, kindly subscribe to this channel and help support this work. See you in our next video.